This is going to be a quick story time of how my parents found my OnlyFans. So I had just recently broken up with my boyfriend and my friends were trying to find ways to make me feel better. They were trying to tell me to go on Tinder and all these other dating apps to find a new man. I didn't want to find a new man more than I wanted to make him jealous. And so my friends were telling me a good way to get back at him is to post myself with another man. But I had a better idea. I was going to make an OnlyFans and I was going to tell his friends about it and let them subscribe for free. And it did work. He sent me a big paragraph going off on me about it. I thought it was really funny, but anyways, so I had left one night with my friends, they were just trying to take me out and make me feel a little bit better, just to try to make me feel better and get the recent breakup off my head. And I was living at home at the time. I had just turned 18. My parents were really strict and they didn't even know that I had a boyfriend. So while I'm out with my friends, I get a text message from my mom telling me to get home now. I'm asking her what's going on and she's telling me that I just need to get home because we need to talk. And so once I get home, I open the front door. I walk into the living room and my ass was spread open right on the TV screen. So this is going to be part 2 of how my parents found my OnlyFans. So I get home from hanging out with my friends and I see my OnlyFans on the TV screen. My mom is acting like she just saw the Holy Ghost. My dad is shaking his head, just mad disappointed. For some reason, my little brother was sitting over there on the couch. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? What is this? Why would you put it on the TV? Our TV was a smart touchscreen TV and you could connect your phone to the TV, but I didn't understand why it was on the TV screen with my little brother right there. My mom's yelling at me like, so is this what we are? Is this what we do? She's telling me if I'm going to be acting grown, then I'm gonna have to find a different place to stay because I'm not about to represent our family like this. So I told her that it was just a quick way for me to make money and she told me that I was lying. And then she proceeded to show me a text message that she got from my boyfriend telling her that I had let his friends subscribe for free and that I was going down the deep end and I need to be talked to. I don't know if I said ex-boyfriend or not, but it was my ex-boyfriend who had sent her that text. So I told him that I would delete my OnlyFans and this is what I said to my ex-boyfriend for part 3. So this is going to be part 3 of how my parents found my OnlyFans. So it was my ex-boyfriend who had told my parents about my OnlyFans. So I decided that I was going to message him. I basically went off on him and I told him, why the fuck would you show my parents my OnlyFans? Why did you feel the need to do that? You're just jealous, yada, yada, yada. And he told me that it's because he doesn't want me to represent myself that way. But I know it's more of the fact that his friends were subscribed to me and he wanted me to just take it down. And I told him that we weren't in a relationship anymore, so his opinion didn't matter. I removed him off everything and he still found ways to text me. He even eventually started to eat. Just a heads up, this will probably be the nastiest story time that I've ever posted. Let's get right into it. So at my high school, there was these group of girls that would keep themselves dirty so they could get attention from the boys. They would never take showers. They would always come to school stankin'. It was so bad to the point where if you were in class with them, the teachers would have to open up all the windows and leave the door wide open so the smell could drift out. Like, it was that bad. You really could have passed out. The school went as far as holding an assembly about how important hygiene is just because of these girls. Now, these girls stayed together as a clique and they were on the track team, and me and my friends were also on the track team. Our coach encouraged us to take showers after practice, but she couldn't force us. But she made it clear that she wanted us to take showers. Those girls wouldn't take full-on showers. They just get in the water for like 5 seconds and then get out. So one day me and my friends decided that all those girls were in the shower, we were going to pour soap and shampoo all over them, like for part 2. This is going to be part 2 of how me and my friends waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. As you could imagine, track practice sucked because of how bad they smelled. And mind you, they barely contributed to the track team. They were those girls that always pretended like they had an injury so they didn't have to practice. It was embarrassing, like, why are you here? And so after practice, while they were taking their 10-second showers, me and my friends took bottles of soap and shampoo and poured it all over them. This made them cuss us out. They were extremely angry, but they didn't do anything. So some time passes by and one of my friends had told me that her boyfriend had gave her an STD. So she's thinking, he didn't have this STD before and all of a sudden he has one. So where did he get it from? Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, one of those thankin' wankin' girls that we poured soap and shampoo all over starts posting on her story and she says, and I quote, "You say I'm dirty, but your boyfriend doesn't think any less of me, so what does that make you?" Eventually, my friend's boyfriend admitted to her that he had cheated on her with one of those girls. And it wasn't just the 2 of them. It was all those girls, my friend's boyfriend, and some of his friends. It was like a 5-some. This is going to be part 3 of how me and my friends waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. So like I said, those girls that never took showers had gotten a train ran on them by one of my friend's boyfriend and some of his friends. This pissed my friend off so bad, she was acting out of character. And I say out of character, I'm talking about this girl was saying, oh, I'm gonna poison her, I'm gonna run this bitch over. At the time, it seemed excessive, but just wait until you hear the whole story and you'll understand why it would have been justified. So my friend had asked her, her ex-boyfriend why he did what he did. He said that they didn't smell bad at the time and it was just spur of the moment. But he knew that his own girlfriend did not like those girls. My friend would talk shit about those girls to him. And it's the fact that he still had the audacity to put his dingling in my friend after he had ran a train on those girls. Like, that's disrespectful. And so to get back at these girls, my friend decided that she was going to stay in the locker room for track practice after all the girls left the locker room. And she took a piss on all of those girls' clothes. This led to one of the girls getting a rash that got really bad to the point where she had to be hospitalized. Trust me, you're gonna want to like for part 4. So this is going to be part 4 of the time my friends and I waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. So after my friend had pissed on those girls' clothes for giving her an STD, one of the girls got a really bad rash for wearing those clothes and had to be hospitalized. Now, I would have said that my friend went too far if it wasn't for this. So my track team ended up going on a camping trip. And the coach told those girls specifically that if they wanted to go on the camping trip, that they were going to have to be hygienic. They were going to have to take full-on showers. They were going to have to brush their teeth. They're going to have to bring a change of clothes. And me and my friends had hoped that they weren't going to come on this camping trip so we could have our fun. But they actually agreed to being hygienic. And so they came on the camping trip. I'm still taken aback at the events that happened on this camping trip. So we're on the camping trip. We're like the 3rd day in. We sat around the campfire and made s'mores, and then we all went to sleep in our tents. Me and my friends, we all shared a tent. All my friends were asleep, but I wasn't asleep yet. I was still drifting asleep. And then I heard somebody open our tent. It was kind of dark, but I could still make out who it was, and it was one of those girls me and my friends were beefing with. She gets to where my friend is sleeping and squats down, and she takes a shit right on my friend. This is going to be part 5 of the time my friends and I waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. Like I said, we're on a camping trip and my friends and I are all sleeping in a tent. One of those girls we're beefing with comes into the tent, squats down on one of my friend's faces and takes a shit right on her face. Mind you, she thought that I was sleeping. So once I screamed at her, like, what the fuck are you doing? She gets up and runs out of the tent. This girl is butt ass naked, okay? My friend eventually wakes up and she's smacking her lips like, what is that taste? And I'm telling her, like, do not swallow. Whatever you do not swallow. And I'm like, girl, it's just some chocolate from the s'mores we made earlier. I was trying to get her not to freak out because she was going to mollywop Miss Butt Naked Nasty. She eventually figures out what it is and she's like, is this some type of sick joke? And so I'm telling her, no, bitch, who the fuck do you think I am? So I run out the tent and then I see one of those girls like fast walking towards the woods and she's looking behind her and then she sees me. So I start running after her and she starts dashing through the woods. I'm cussing her out like, bitch, you're fucking nasty. Fuck is wrong with you? Eventually our coaches hear the noise and they wake up like for part 6. This is gonna be part 6 of the time my friends and I waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. Like I said, after I'm chasing this girl for taking a shit on my friend's face, I'm cussing her out, running behind her. Eventually, I lose her in the woods and I have to walk back to where we were camping. Our coaches had woken up at that point and they were talking to my friend who had shit all over her face. She was telling them like, I don't even know what's going on. And so once they saw me, they were asking me like, what's happening? And I'm basically telling them everything that happened. And so the coaches start looking for this girl. Eventually, they find her butt naked somewhere. They called that girl's parents and then my friend's parents to let them know what had happened. And my friend's mom decided that she did not want my friend on the camping trip anymore. So they cut the camping trip short, and for the rest of the time, they kept that girl and my friend separated. Just so you guys know, me and my friends could not beat up those girls because we were athletic academic scholars, bitch. They are not worth it. But once we went to school again, the school ended up expelling all of those girls. And it's because my friend's complaint about them was kind of the last straw. They had so many complaints about their hygiene, how dirty they were, so the school was just kind of like, okay, we're done with y'all. That was the end of it. Who do y'all think won this war? This is why you should never trust your friend if they tell you that their pet don't bite. Charla Nash would go over to her friend's house, Sandra, every now and then to watch over her 200-pound chimpanzee. Charla knew straight off the bat that she did not like that chimpanzee because it always scared her. There was even a time where the chimpanzee jumped on Charla's back and ripped out a chunk of her hair. Charla started crying, but her friend Sandra thought it was funny. Sandra would not be laughing at anything that chimpanzee did much longer after this day. One day, Charla gets a call from Sandra saying her chimpanzee wouldn't go back in the cage and she needed some help. Charla drove over there to help her friend, and immediately after, Sandra would have to call the police. By the time the police arrived, Charla was laying on the ground with half of her face eaten off, no jaw, her nose hanging from her face by a piece of her skin, and with both of her hands ripped off. This is what Charla looked like before her attack. Her entire face was mutilated after the attack, but since the photos are super graphic, they'll be posted on my Instagram story. Part 2 will include the unsettling phone call Sandra made to the police and how she described her friend getting eaten and ripped apart. This is going to be part 2 of why you should never trust your friend if they tell you that their pet don't bite. Sandra never imagined that after she called her friend over to help her put her 200-pound chimpanzee back in his cage, since he wouldn't go in, she would have to make a phone call to the police and report how her chimpanzee ate her friend alive. This is the audio clip.
Please!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
Let the police up! With a gun! With a gun! Hurry
Who
up!
has a gun?
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
My chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
Yes! He ripped her apart! Hurry up! And she's dead. She's dead.
Why are you saying that she's dead?
She's dead. He ripped her apart.
Charla actually ended up surviving. She was rushed to the hospital where they said she looked like she had gone through a meat grinder. Charla is very lucky to still be with us today. The most recent update about Charla is in her interview with Oprah that I have linked in my Instagram story. This is gonna be a story time of how I almost drowned someone's baby. Y'all, I cannot sleep at night because of this. I cannot believe that I did this to someone's child. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I was babysitting for this one rich ass family. What's so amazing about it was the fact that the parents were never home. At the same time, I was just a senior in high school. I didn't have much to do after school either. I didn't have hobbies. I didn't play a sport. So I had all the time in the world to babysit for their kid and house sit for them. This baby was only 1 year old. Since the baby was so young, I had to keep eyes on it at all times. They had this big pool area and they said that if I ever wanted to go swimming I could, and there was a floaty for the baby. One day while I was house sitting and babysitting for them, I went in the pool and I put the baby on the floaty thing. Somehow I forgot that that baby existed. I felt something in the bottom of my feet at the pool. It was like slippery, so I kicked it out the way because I thought it was a toy. And then when I turn around me, I see that the baby is not on the floaty. I look down and I see this tiny human sunk in the water, like for part 2. This is part 2 of how I almost drowned someone's baby. When this was happening, I was on my